Hello everyone, guys! Today you will spend my day off with me. Days like this are very rare, so you have this opportunity, and let's get started. I am Anna Shcherbakova, figure skater, world champion, Olympic champion in figure skating. This is such a beauty we have. Here is yogurt muesli fruits. I tried to arrange everything beautifully, especially for your sake, but I usually don't try that way. In fact, I almost never drank ordinary water before, and only recently taught myself to do this. Before that, I drank juices, cocoa, kefir, and something else. And now I start every morning with a glass of hot water. I apologize right away. Today my voice is a little dry. I just returned from St. Petersburg. We had a team figure skating competition there, and we actively supported our team and shouted a lot, so my voice is recovering. I started figure skating at the age of 3.5, and this happened thanks to my older sister, who was walking down the street and saw how children were skating at the skating rink, and told my mother that she also wanted to do this. And I, as the youngest, was also taken for company, because it's convenient to carry 2 children in one section. I remember the first training sessions vaguely, but it seems to me that the main feeling that I remember is that it turned out to be more difficult than I thought. From the first seconds when I started falling, I didn't understand what was happening. Why couldn't I stand on my own 2 feet or ride on my own? Or why do I need to hold on to the side and stomp my feet? I'm already running and jumping on the floor. It seemed to me that everything would be easier. I won competitions very often and wasn't very nervous. I liked that I was going to competitions and all the attention was on me. I was alone on the ice. I had a beautiful dress, a bright program. I looked at the judges and smiled. Until the age of 10, it was like a favorite hobby without any serious thoughts. Probably when I was about 9 years old, I had to make a serious choice, but mostly my parents made it. I didn't really think about anything seriously at that time. The coaches said that I have good data and I do well. Again, I often won competitions and said that this is a good age to decide whether I will engage professionally. My parents decided to try it. Of course, they asked me, and I said yes, I like everything. And I was transferred to a more serious group with Etteri Tutberidze, where the athletes were already preparing for the World Championships and Olympic Games. This is already a serious approach, where you need to work in every training session, despite the fact that you are tired. Sport had a positive influence on me. I learned to accept defeats well. At the age of 13, I had my first serious injury. I broke my leg during training and spent 6 months recovering. And when I returned to the ice and started performing, and why I began to perceive myself from the position of catching up and did not perceive myself as a leader, I considered myself catching up and lagging behind. This really hindered me from competing. I fell a lot and nothing worked out for me. I didn't believe in myself. And these 6 months were very difficult. A few weeks before the competition, I was already starting to get nervous. When I woke up in the morning, I was already shaking a little with excitement. It took me some time to realize that it was not my physical form that was stopping me, but the thoughts in my head. And I began not to be afraid of competitions, but to love them. And when I went to competitions, I enjoyed this moment. Again, like in childhood, I felt this pleasure when the attention is on you. That these are your moments of glory where you can show everything that you have worked on for a long time. After that, there were no failed performances. It seems to me that creating an image begins with setting up a program, when coaches, together with athletes, select music and a suitable image that they want to embody on the ice. We have a dressmaker who already knows us completely. She helped me out several times when I urgently needed costumes. It happened that for some shows, the program could be set the day before the performance. And I could call her at night and say that tomorrow morning I urgently need a dress for the program. I send her music, and in the morning she sends me the finished dress. This is an incredible person who helps out in any situation. Now I will show you some of the most beloved and meaningful dresses. This is the dress for my free program in which I won the World Championship. I think it is very beautiful, and it is one of my favorite and most significant. This is the Firebird Free program, my first senior season. It is one of the most unusual. I skated the first half of the program in this image in a purple dress. And then with a slight movement of the hand, the dress turned into fiery red, so that there was a bright transformation into a firebird. The next dress is for the short perfumer program. It is definitely one of my favorites, a very beautiful dress. And this incredible back with rose petals. And of course, I couldn't help but bring here the dress from the Olympic free program Master and Margarita. Absolutely all the dresses in which I performed are stored in my home. There is already a huge collection from the very first performances to the programs that I skate now. There is one funny story, that when I was 10 years old, I asked my mother where the dress in which I had recently performed and was told that it had been sold to another girl so that she could perform in it. Then I was very upset and told my mother that I wanted to collect all the dresses, and after they found this girl and bought her dress. That's the story, but all the dresses are assembled. If we go back to the program, then of course when the dress is ready, I come up with some kind of hairstyle, makeup, everything that I can do myself, because we always get ready for competitions ourselves. So this is in a sense a ritual, because when you start putting on makeup before program, then at this moment it's as if I'm starting to get into character. For example, during the Olympic season I had such a bright black tuxedo. It was probably a little risky the first time I tried it, but it seems to me that this is the kind of theatrical stage makeup in which you are unlikely to go anywhere else. But on the ice, it perfectly complemented the program. Conventionally, at a performance, it's always a dense tone. I really like to make arrows, and naturally when I perform, I make them bigger, brighter, so that even brighter shadows can be seen from afar. That is, I put more emphasis on the eyes, so the eyes are always very bright. By the way, after frequent intense makeup, it is very important to thoroughly cleanse your skin, not only before makeup, but also complete deep cleansing, so I often use gels and foam. Now I have this one from La Roche-Posay. I really like how it cleanses my skin, and by the way, I also have a cream from them. It saves me from constant flights, makeup, and sometimes some imperfections appear on the skin. And this cream saves me and helps keep skin in good condition. This cream is already a real traveler, because it has been to both China and St. Petersburg, helped me out before all important events. I just applied it at night, and in the morning my skin was in perfect condition. Sometimes, if necessary, I can apply it even in the morning before makeup. By the way, the cream has a very light and pleasant texture. It is absorbed very quickly and is almost not felt on the skin. As you can see, I love skincare products. I have a lot of them. Of course, these are my favorite masks that save me every morning when I get up early or after flights. By the way, there is a very tasty candle here. I'll definitely light it today. For some reason, I had the idea that a person who wins the Olympic Games is the happiest for the rest of his life, that every morning he will wake up with the thought that he is an Olympic champion, and this will give him joy. And I was faced with the opposite story, that having won, on the contrary, you experience some kind of devastation, that at that moment you spent all your resources, that you no longer have the strength not to be happy, not to be sad, not to experience some kind of emotions. And I recovered from this for quite a long time. At no point did I stop doing something. That is, I didn't have a situation where I locked myself at home and didn't go out anywhere, although of course sometimes I wanted to. It is very important to find your favorite thing in which you will not need to force yourself and persuade yourself to do something, in which there will always be some kind of zeal and desire to become better, to move forward. There will always be some new goals that you want to achieve. And it is also very important to live not for the sake of the result and think that when I achieve it, then I will become the happiest, but to enjoy the moment and the process. Because now, for example, I can say that the happiest moments I experienced were on the way to the goal, and not when I had already arrived at them.